Good morning, friends. In the last few lectures, we started spur gears, and we studied what are the different types of the gears. So that is the spur gears, helical gears, buell gears, and worm gears. And after that, we started study about the spur gears. So in the spur gears, the engagement of the the teeth, that is at a times only one teeth, and more than means that is one teeth. So that is the second teeth is slightly, so that may be 0.2%, 0.4% or 0.6%, means one contact ratio is one more than one, means that is 1.2, 1.4, 1.6 etc. That depends on the different parameters. So after that we should study, so what are the gear tooth failures. So what are the causes of gear tooth failures, and what are the remedies for avoid the gear tooth failures. So the first is the abrasive wear. Second is the corrosive wear. Third is the pitting wear. Fourth is destructive. And last is scoring. So these are the 5 types of the wears, so in the gear tooth failures. So abrasive wears means for the design of the gears. So what are the parameters which are important? That parameters are modules, it's a face width, etc. But yes, so what are the causes of the gear tooth failures? So here's mainly two causes. Two types of failures. One is surface destructive, and second, when the beam strength is less than static sum of static and dynamic loads. And if failure during design increase its module face width, and after that you can change the materials. So here's here's two types of the failures that may be because of the surface destructions, and the second is the beam strength. So the strength of the tooth, so that may be failures if the loads above the beam strength is less than sum of the static load and dynamic load. So what is mean of the static load and what is mean of the dynamic load? So that we will see in the beam strength. So if that strength is less, beam strength is less than the static and dynamic load sum of the, so that times tooth failure may be failures, and for avoid that, and this is the during the theoreticals. So for avoid that, you can change or you can increase the modules or you can increase the face width, and by increasing, but having limitations to increase the modules and limitations for to increase the face width, because face width is limited. The face width be equal to, that is 8 ems to 12 ems, that is the limitations. So generally we consider during the designs the face width is 10 times above the modules. So this is the limitations. So we are taking face width equal to 10 ems, so that increase we can increase the means up to 12 ems, means 12 times above the modules. Otherwise we can increase the it's a module. And so because of the surface distractions, so means according to the consideration, means this is the beam strength, so that you can consider during the designing above them. And during the running conditions, so the types of the failures may be occurs because of the surface distractions, so that is because of the abrasive wears, corrosive wears, pitting wears, destructive wears and scorings. So why this abrasive wears occurs? So if any forging materials like dust, dirt and small metallic parts comes in contact with the meshing teeth. So this abrasive wears occurs if any foreign materials like dust and dirt and small metallic parts comes in contact with the teeth above the or tooth above the gears, that may be pinions, and so because of that, so the scratches comes on tooth surface, and that increases. So I will use space during the running operations. So during the running operations, so this type of the, so that's why by purchasing of the new bikes, so within 500 kilometers or after 500 kilometers, we have to change the oils. So why the change of the oils? Because if any dust, dirt particles which are present during the manufacturing and that present in the gearbox, so that may becomes, and the scratches may be occurs, and the wear rate of the gears, that may be increased. So for avoid that, after 500 kilometers, lubricating oil is to be changed. So here, so what are the remedies for avoid such type of the wears? Use filter lubricating oils. So use filters if possible, and increase the surface hardness of gear material, surface material. This is surface material, and increase the viscosity index of lubricating oils. So means for avoid remedies, so you can increase. So you can increase or use filters if the lubricating oil is circulating. So use filters for lubricating of the oils for filtration purpose, for removal of the any dust dirt particles which are present in the lubricating oils. Increase the surface hardness because the materials may be different, maybe cast iron TTC, so that surface hardness you can increase. So because about the more surface hardness, so the scratches that comes that will be less and that will not be prolonged. And if we increase the viscosity above the index above the lubricating oils, so because of the more viscosity, if any dust and dirt particles, because of the thick lubricating films, so if any dust and dirt particles present in the in the meshing above the tooth, so that may be passed without scratches on the tooth above the surface. So that's why these are the remedies. Now second type of the failures is the pitting wears. This is third type actually. This is corrosive wears. So in the pitting wears, so this such type of the failure occur if any pit spot present on the surface of tooth. So if any pit spots which are present on the surface of the teeth or the tooth, so that during the running conditions, so that will be prolonged, and wear rate that will increase the. So during running conditions, this pitting increases. So because of the pitting increases, so this failure may be occur. So for avoid remedies, so this type of the pittings may be occurs because of the this is not proper machining of the gears, and if the errors in the manufacturing. So here's error in manufacturing that is to be avoid. Proper machining of teeth of gear. And another is choose correct gear profile and correct alignment of meshing gear. So this correct alignment also is important, and proper machining of the means the surface finish, or you can say surface finish of gear tooth, that should be good. The surface finish, so that should be goods for avoid the pitting failures. So here's 3 points is to be considered. So if any errors in the manufacturing, that should be avoided, or otherwise you can increase the surface finish of the teeth. So means more accuracy is required during the finishing of the teeth. Next is the alignment of the gear, is proper alignment that is required, and selections above the gear profile, means correct gear profile, that is also important for avoid the pitting failures. So next is the third type of the failures. So this is the corrosive. This is actually second type. Corrosive wears. So this such type of the wears occurs because of extreme pressure additives adding in lubricating oils. So because of the extreme pressures additives adding in the lubricating oil, such type of the corrosive wears occurs. So this corrosive wears first on meshing tooth, and after that will increase. During running operation. So for avoid corrosive wears, so here's complete enclosure of gears. So for avoids such type of the, so here complete enclosures above the gears means that gears or pinions, that should be covers. And this is lubricating oils and foreign particles. So that's why for this foreign particles, you can complete enclosures above the gears, means close the gearbox, you can use for avoid corrosive types of the wears. So next type of the wear is, so that is fourth type of the wear is destructive type of the wears. So this such type of the destructive type of the wears occurs when the beam strength is less than, or you can stress, or wear strength instead of the beam strength, you can, when the wear strength of gears is less than sum of static and dynamic load, failures occurs. So for avoids, so you can increase the modules and it's a phase feed, or by keeping remedies, by keeping wear strength is greater than sum of static load and dynamic load. So such type of the destructive wears you can avoid by keeping the wear strength of the gear materials, so that should be greater than the static loads and the sum of the dynamic loads. So last type of the is the scoring. So this type of the extreme lubricating oil pressures and non-availability of lubricating oil. Now such type of the scorings may be occurs. So here's remedies: continuous supply of lubricating oil is to be maintained. So for avoid scorings, so continuous supply of the lubricating oil is to be maintained during the running conditions of the gears. So these are the 5 types of the gear tooth failures. Now I think you can better understand what are the different types of the failures. So next is the what is the face width. Face width. So face width. So notations generally B, and this should be B is to be maintained between 8 m to 12 yms. So the face width above the gear tooth, that is to be maintained between 8 times above the models or 12 times above the models. So this is greater than and this is smaller. So face width, that is, this is also important. Next is the selections of the material. So what are the different types of the materials that we can use for the manufacturing of the gears? So that are cast iron, steel, alloy steel, phosphorus, bronze for worm wheel, plastic, materials. So for spur gears you can use cast iron materials. This is the more popular. For ordinary gears you can use cast irons, but the surface of the teeth, that is should be hardens. So that may be case hardened or that may be oil hardens. So the materials may be FG 200, FG 250, 300 etc. So grey cast irons you can use for the manufacturing of the gears. So this is the more popular material is the cast irons, and on the teeth, that is to be hardens. So that all the teeth should be hardens. Otherwise, material means this gear may be failure. If without hardens gears we are using for the transmissions of the torque from one shaft to the another shafts. So for another materials, if the more powers or medium type of the power that is to be transmitted, so that times or if the size is small, so that times you can use steels or alloy steels. So this is alloy steels for the generally manufacturing of the helical gears, and for the worms wheels also you can use. Generally spur gears and bevel gears that are manufactured by using cast iron materials, and the teeth are hardens, and manufacturing of the helical gears and the worm shaft, and that is from the steels, or and this is the hardened steels or alloy steels. So that may be nickel chromium added. And phosphorus bronze material, this is popular material for worm wheels, because to transmit the water may be the heat generated that to transmit to the surrounding. So that's why phosphorus bronze materials for worm wheel that is to be used, but this material is the costly materials. But for the transfers of the heat, so we have to use the phosphorus bronze materials for the worm wheels, in the worm and worm wheels. And the plastic type of the materials, if the velocity ratio, if the velocity ratio is small and low power is to be transmit, then you can use plastic materials. So these plastic materials, no need of the lubricating oils, and less costly. So this is more costly because cost above the phosphorus bronze is more, less costly, less noisy also. So this plastic type of the, so no need of the lubricating oils requires. So generally you can use this type of the means single helical gears or spur gears, you can use these materials also, plastic materials. So nylon, metallon, ions materials that you can use for the manufacturing of the spur gears or helical gears. So such type of the plastic materials generally we don't use in the for the manufacturing of the bevel gears or worm reduction gearbox. So these are the some of the types of the materials. So I give us only without going in the details. So this is the general materials is the cast irons. So that may be FG 200, 250, 300 etc. So there are different types of the steels by adding means here's some of the elements to increase the strength of the materials. Other is the alloy steels. So these are the few materials which are used for the manufacturing of the gears. So next is the beam strength of gear tooth. So what is mean about the, because in the study during the wears, I think during the destructive wears, so the beam strength or during the general means because beam strength, so this should be because the failures above the tooth that is due to two failures. One is the if the beam strength is less than the sum of the static load and dynamic loads, and next is the destruct means surface destructions. So that's why this is the first point, means the beam strength above the gear tooth. So as you know, the gear tooth, so I will draw gear tooth profile. So here's pressures or the force acting. So that force is the PT, and this distance is the height, means that is the sum of the addendum and determinants, and this is B, and this is T is the thickness, and this is B is the face width. T is thickness of tooth, B is width of tooth, and H is height of tooth. So here's because of the this such type of the loads, so this may be failures. So here's I will draw. This is the radial load, and H is the height. So this is the H is the height, and B is the face width. So this is the XX. So that's why here's the actual force is the, this is the resultant force. So this resultant force means because the radial load side, this is the tangential to load. For calculation purpose, because we are assuming this is the cantilever type of the, and we are considers the maximum means failures of the teeth due to the tangential to tangential loads. So this is PT. So this is not B, this is T, and this is B is the face width. Now, so assuming failure of tooth due to cantilever loading. So this is derived actually by the Lewis. So this is, these equations are known as Lewis equation. So because these equations, I think in 1892, so this is derived and still up to this is applicable. These equations are known as Lewis equations. Now, by assuming this is failures of the, this is due to the tooth failures. So that's why by assuming this is the cantilevers, so beam or bending stress equal to bending stress or bending moment, not stress, bending moment equal to, and this is MB equal to this is PT multiplied by height H, and bending stress equal to bending stress equal to sigma b equal to mb divided by Zs or mb divided by I divided by y or mb into y divided by I. So that's why I equal to, now this is sections, so that's why yes, and this is rectangular sections and this is the neutral axis. This axis is the neutral axis, so that's why moment of inertia equal to 1/12 of bt cubes and y equal to, so this is the distance t divided by 2. So that's why bending stress equations equal to, now putting pt into h multiplied by t divided by 2 and this is 1 divided by 12 bt cube. Now rearranging the terms, so that's why pt equal to, so you can write sigma b into b into t divided by 2 1/12, now this is 12th divided by 1 divided by pt. So this is sigma b. So take cross multiplications 1/12 bt cube and divided by h divided by t and this is multiplied by 2. So that's why this is will get cancelled and this is 6. So pt equal to sigma b into b t squares divided by 6h pt equal to, and pt equal to b into sigma b into t squares divided by 6h. So multiply on both sides by m. So that's why m into pt into bm sigma b into t squares divided by 6h and this pt equal to p into m into sigma b or otherwise sigma b m b into t squares divided by 6h m. So these terms are called as, y is the Levy's form factor. So y is the Levy's form factor, that is equal to t squares 6h into ems. So how this Levy's form factors we can calculate, that we will see in the next class. So now, so this tangential force When this is increases, means up to when tangential force increases, that is equivalent with beam strength. So that's why we can consider this is equal to SB equal to M into B into sigma B into Lewis form factors. So this equations is very important. M is the module, B is the phase width, sigma B is the bending stress. So bending stress you can calculate sigma B equal to 1/3 of ultimate tensile stress. Sigma B equal to ultimate tensile stress. M equal to, you can consider 10B, and Y Lewis form factors. So this is Y equal to, so this is pi multiplied by small Lewis form factors. So this is the Lewis factors, Lewis form factors. So we will see this is the Y is the small Lewis form factors. So Y, how we can calculate the Y, and you multiplied by pi, so that becomes the capital Y, means that is the Lewis form factors. So that we will see in the next class. So but you should know, so what is the mean above the beam strength. So this is the strength above the beams, because we are considering this beams or the teeth likewise a cantilever beams, and that strength equal to, this is module multiplied by phase width, bending stress multiplied by Y. So Y is the unitless, and this M is the phase width, this is in bending stress, Newton per squares, and this is unitless. So that's why this will get cancelled, and beam strength you will get, this is in terms of newtons. So the remaining portions above this means beam strength above the gear tooth, or why this means Lewis form factors, how we can calculate, and what is the mean above the effective loads, and what is the mean above the wear strength. So that we will see, because this topic is slightly hard for the understanding purpose. So that's why I am keeping short lectures, means that maybe 40-45 minute lectures, or the means for avoid borings. So that's why be prepared for the beam strength, because this should be, being as mechanical engineers, if you want to become a design engineers, you should know design above the gears, and design above the gears is very important. So what is the beam strength, and how the beam strength that you can calculate, and what is the important equations, means SP equal to modules multiplied by phase width multiplied by bending stress and multiplied by, this is the Lewis form factors, capital Y. So this equations is important, and such type of the this beam strength equations is common type of the equations, only these parameters slightly change, and in the design above the helical gears and design above the BOL gears, and design above the worm gears, that is different as compared to design above the spur gears, design above the helical gears, and design above the BOL gears. So that's why today I will stop here, and we will continue the remaining portions above the designs. So what is the design procedures for the spur gears, that we will see in the next class, and after completions about these theoretical parts, we can start the problems related with the design above the gears. Three types of the problems. So that is when the power is given, and when the center distance is given, and when the ready-made gears is available, what is the power transmitting capacity of the gears. So according to that, we can design the spur gears. So three types of the only problems, so that we will take in the next classes. Okay. So that's why today I stop here and we'll continue remaining portion in next class. Thank you. Thank you.